welcome all of you and to say that uh, uh, okay,
Yeah, I
and to
just
say
started
that
recording. Yeah, go on.
okay, thank you very much for coming. It is that is the spirit of Onpassive that we keep on. We exercise patience. We have that resilience, the endurance to understand that the products of our company are IT products, and they have their own life cycle. They have their own peculiar problem. They have their own system of uh, adjusting to circumstances and to the environment and to responding to situations. So if we understand that the life cycle of an app is long and tedious, then we'll understand why at a certain time there will be a break, at a certain time they'll say be patient, at a certain time there maybe there's a stop, then they restart and all of that. That is in fact the nature of the products that our company is dealing with. So if we understand that, then we can also be able to exercise a lot of patience. The kind of patience that those who are in this meeting are exercising. You come in, you wait even for other people, you listen until the meeting comes to an end and we chat and share ideas. That is patience, that is perseverance, that is the unpassive spirit. So that's why I'd like to thank all of you who keep coming for this meeting and to remind everybody that when you are coming for the meeting, remind your neighbor, your friend that, well, remember that know that today we have a meeting so that we can continue to hold the hands of other people. And leadership, a non-passive, has been virtually been defined as the ability for you to be able to give assistance to the next person. If you can
That's it.
assist the next person pick up an idea in non-passive, then you are a leader. This is exactly what leadership is all about. It is not really about the numbers. It is about dedication and the ability to learn one thing and pass it over to another person. So thank you very much for coming. And because the life cycle of an app is that life cycle has ups and downs. We should understand that even when you have the impression that the meetings are saying the same thing, they cannot be the same thing because there are changes. There are lots of developments and innovations that are taking place. Sometimes you come today, you see that the interface of our website has changed. You
Yep.
cannot say that it's the same thing. You come in today, maybe they add a function on O Connect. You cannot say that we are saying the same thing. You might have the impression, if you are not always coming to meetings, you might have the impression that they are saying the same thing. But if all what we say every day is not the same thing, there are lots and lots of additions and lots of changes. Sometimes we give information that was not previously available, and so on. Because if you have that spirit, you'll be learning every day. So thank you very much for coming. So let me introduce our speaker. Our speaker is senior citizen. He's a blessed man. He's a community organizer. He's a dedicated person who is always willing to give back to the community that he belongs to, whether it is online, as we are now, this community is online community of Onpassive, or whether it is actually physical. He is that kind of person who is ready to donate, who is ready to give the skills that he has acquired over time to the community to which he belongs in various ways. And that's why we're thanking him all the time for all this time for the effort he's putting in and for that dedication and the fact that he hardly fails. And of course, you'll find that he comes in as a presenter, a leader and a presenter, and then he's waiting for people to come. Because in other words, because in normal circumstances, people come into a meeting room and then the speaker follows after they have come in and they are seated. So I'm just reminding ourselves that for us to be able to serve our data, we should come on time so that we'll start the presentations early enough and we'll cut down the time we normally spend to our half. Because if it's up to us, we have enough credit. I have prepared myself to stay in the webinar as long as possible. But not everybody is prepared that way. But if all of us come on time, we'll be able to cut down the time that we spend for this webinar. So Mr. Blazeban is a dedicated leader. The presentations are always detailed, they are pedagogic, they are presented in such a way that you can't be able to understand Onpassive within a short time. Understand Onpassive within a short time. So thank you very much, BB, for the leadership and for the effort and for what you are doing for our people. So you can take it on from here.
Well, thank you very much, Leader John, and thanks to all of us who are already part of the house. We welcome all those who are coming in. Those who were in the Yaoundé meeting yesterday, thank you for following up to be here again today. And we encourage you that we meet 3 times a week on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Cameroon time. And we've tried to make the effort that we come those 3 times in a week in order to update ourselves, to upgrade our knowledge on our cherished company, Onpassive. We know that our CEO has a good vision for all of us. The concept of Onpassive is that which he says himself that is built on doing less, paying less, and getting more. What does it mean? That the company is going to do more for us. We do just a little part of what is needed in the business, and we have all the benefits that are derived. You will find at the bottom of our screen there is the question there: how do we grow our Onpassive business? This is the question that all of us should ask ourselves. Those of us who are leaders, those who have just come in Onpassive, how do we grow our business? This question is being answered every day we meet, because the first 2, we have said that the business is built on AI and that the company is doing most of the work. But many people sit behind and they make a mistake that they say, oh, the company said they will do everything. Yes, the company said that they will do everything for you. But if you make an extra effort and grow your own business, because your own business, the account that you're opening is your own company, that you are a sub-company inside Onpassive. If you grow it, then you are going to be better off than a person who just folds his hands. So how do we do this? Is to share our links. When we come in, when we joined, those of us who are founders, when we joined the company as founders, the company gave us the ability to share links as founders, to bring in more people, to share the idea to our loved ones, so that they too can come in and benefit the benefit in this good dream of Onpassive. The dreams they were being shared. People were growing their teams, and of course, up to June 23rd, 2022, that stopped, and then it stopped until early this year, when we migrated from the founders, starting from Go founders to O founders, to we migrated now to the OES, the Onpassive ecosystem. And of course, when you migrate, you have an affiliate. You have to sign. If you want to do business, as all of us want to, you have to become an affiliate. An affiliate is somebody that wants to do business with Onpassive. You are free to become a user and stay as a user. But those of us who are founders, we know that we entered here like to make business, to at least get the Onpassive work for us. So we are all business people. So we need to share the link. So we share the link only by becoming an affiliate. When you share the link, you follow up. You follow up the person that you have shared the link with. It's advisable first to talk with the person before you send a link than sending a link before talking to the person. Talk to the person, send a link. We have advised you what type of links you have. You go to my links, you pick up a promotional link. The person will follow a short video of 1 to 2 minutes, and then below the video there will be the ability for the person to join the company, and that when he joins, it's encrypted to you. It will be inside. It will be under your team. So you follow up the person. When you follow up, the person who now has come in has the same duties, who has the duties of doing the same thing that the person who the inviter who brought him in has done for him or her. So if you pass that down, then the dream of our leader Ash Mufare will continue, and of course we are going to own the internet. I will come back to that later on. Another way of following up is to, of course, set up like one of our products here. You get the product, you buy the product or the O Connect, and be able to set up a webinar with those that you bring in. You discuss, you get yourself knowledgeable, you go into the website, you play with the tools which are found in the app here, in the application, and then you help others, you help other users to enjoy the free products that the company has. You tell them about the traffic, you get them to know how to handle their devices, like what Leader John was doing in Yaoundé yesterday. Many of us cannot join webinars, not because of the company, not because of network, but because of our devices. We don't have appropriate devices. O Connect is a very heavy application. That one we know. Our CEO has told us, and therefore, in order to get things going on, we should have devices which are able to handle this heavy application. And we've advised that if you have a phone which is less than 128 gigabyte or 8 gig of RAM, you have difficulties. You have difficulties with getting to meetings. If you have a phone of that level and above, please, you hardly have problems in joining. So when people back home, like in our country, say that, oh, the problem is network, most of the time, the problem is not network. Because you find people in the same town, they are enjoying the webinar very freely, but others in the same town are saying no, they cannot because of their devices. So they check their devices, they check the updates of the app updates of their devices, their pop-ups, they check them, they cache, they check all of those things and make sure that they're fine, their phones or their devices are up to date. When you do that now, then you should get into a package, a data package, which can allow you to do business. Because many of us have data packages for social media. We don't have data packages for business. If you really want to be a businessman, as Leader John has been expressing all this while, and he told the leaders in Yaoundé, the best package that you will need to take will be the one which is 10,000 francs, which is 1 gig per day. There are some people who want to activate 300 francs a day. Watch you. You'll be a penny wise and a pound foolish. In 300 francs a day means what? You activate and by the middle of the day it's finished. If you're actually having a lot of things to do online. Multiply that by 30 days. That comes up to 9,000. But you will not be satisfied. If you really want to be satisfied, I think the best of those options he has said over and over is to take the 10,000 francs, which gives you 1 gigabyte a day. And on meeting days like today, you avoid being on social media. You allow your media, your data, so that we can use it during the meetings, so that you can gain and grow your business. These are some of the ways that they can help us to grow our business. There are many more, and as we go on, we have more of those ways to share. I said earlier on that one of the major, or one of the founding reasons of our CEO for bringing or creating this company was that Onpassive should own the internet. owning the internet does not mean that they are going to create a new internet. Owning the internet means that they will do things in one spot. And of course, this owning the internet is very clear with the 5 pillars of Onpassive. When you pick up the 5 pillars of Onpassive, you know that if any company has those, he has owned the internet. What is the first pillar? The first pillar is that Onpassive has a single sign-on system, the OES. So all our tools, all our apps are inside one place. So when you want anything, you just go there. No company on earth now has that. So everything which you need is found in one spot. That's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is owning our merchant or payment merchants or merchant payment processors. We have had problems with payments. We know, all of us inside here will know. Since the 1st of September, we have been on and off with the card payment because we don't own a processor. We don't own our own bank. But we know our CEO, the man of the heart, has promised us that before the year runs out, bulk payments, our system will be running on our own merchants. So I think we should really applaud him and be patient and see what is working in the background. That is the second pillar. The third pillar is to own the verification system. That's one of the identities of every business. When you enter a business, you need to identify. Are you really, because with AI today, are you a real person? You know, AI today is used positively and negatively. And the O-Verify is to find out whether you are a real person. So the O-Verify is know your neighbor. An application that makes you, of course, identifies you as part of that company or part of that business. We know very well that O-Verify 2 is soon going to be on. So that is the third pillar. Our fourth pillar is to own our own domain accreditation. That is the internet. That's the web. When we talk of web, it is owning a domain. We own a domain. You are now visible to the whole world, anywhere you are in the world. So you just need to give your coordinates and any person reaches you at any time. So that is the dream of the company, and they're already very far too in this domain accreditation. We know that this would happen not far from now. And of course, AI, which is going to be the main tool of distribution, would be using these domains, our various domains, in order to give us traffic, what type of traffic? Targeted traffic for particular products. We are now with O Connect. Very soon more products will come in, and we'll have a large arsenal of products. Of course, the more the arsenal of products, the more we are going to have benefits. We know the benefits are coming. The last pillar is owning our data centers. Yes. There are 2 companies or a few companies that have data centers now. We don't need to name them. We know of AWS, where we are even anchoring some of our data now. We have some of our data being anchored, and we're paying a lot of money to AWS now, what we call the Amazon Web Services. Our CEO started with creating a small data center for us. We're actually having one small data center now, but he's working on a number of them. And we know last week he announced to us that very soon, early in 2024, a number of data centers are going to be launched for Onpassive. And he said not 1, not 2. I said they are in various locations that will be launched. And we know, guess what? What is the first advantage of the data center? We are not going to be paying the millions of dollars that we're paying to AWS to host our data in the cloud. We will be keeping it. So all that money that will be saving would go to where? Will go to the company, and part of it would, of course, would fall back, would come to us. So that is one of the prime things. That is one of the source of revenues. That if some of us who understand in what business we are, please, you know that we are well. That just with that, the data centers that Onpassive is about to own, we can be well without the products, please. Just like all the companies which are doing that. So, if we have this with these 5 pillars, we are surely we are going to own the internet, and 4 out of 5 of those pillars are going to or about to come live, as our CEO told us. The only one which will come out in early 2024 would be the data center. So the other 4 would be part of us, not a too distant future. So, my dear leaders, this is where we are. This is the business in which we are. We do little, we do less, we pay less, and we get more. That is the vision of our CEO. We just need to be steadfast. We need to be more engaged. We need to be patient. And of course, we need to think positively. If we think positively, we are all going to arrive. Thank you very much. That is the first part of my presentation. I will give room now for questions, which may come from the presentation or other things, worries in Onpassive. There is a hand up already. There's a hand from Hillary Chin.
Yeah, Bibi, before it comes on.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, you can get on, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for that presentation. It's been very detailed as usual. It is very informative, and
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
The person who is saying that he can't hear, please sign out and sign back, please. Somebody saying he cannot hear you. We can hear you, John. If you can't hear, it's from your own end, please. It's either it's mainly your device. So check your device, sign out and sign back, or your connection. Those are the 2 things. Your device or your connections. Okay.
Okay, before we start taking the questions, I'd like to appreciate you for the presentation and for the work you're always doing for us. I think the presentation has been detailed, and you've done in such a way that anybody, even somebody who has no knowledge of IT, will be able to understand you and have an idea of what the company is all about. And I do think that from that presentation, we'll get one thing. The one thing is that, to put it in another way, if you say that you own a house, what are the things to indicate that you own a house? You definitely have the key of the door, the key of the rooms. So the 5 pillars are the keys that enable Onpassive to be able to take control of his own destiny when it comes to the internet world. So that idea of taking over the internet, owning the internet, is very key to our own aspirations, whether it is financial aspirations or what. When you own the internet, it actually means that you have the keys and you're going to dominate. You own it and dominate it. And when we own it and dominate it, it is about buckets and buckets of apples for us. So thank you very much for that presentation. And now we can now go on to those questions. And then, as you pointed out, Mr. Chin, please unmute yourself and ask the presenter your question. Mr. Chin, unmute yourself.
Mr. Chin, are you with us? Please, your hand is up. You have a worry, please. You have a worry, put it in the chat if you can't talk. If you have a sound or a mic problem, please put the question on the chat. You have the chat button, please. As a speaker, you have the chat button at the bottom of your screen.
Mr. Chin, unmute yourself.
The chat button is to the left. Yeah. Mr. Chin. Okay, if you cannot, we'll allow him. If there's another person who has a question, any worry, please. And Mr. John, I think when you, at one time that you were knocked out, I think Mayor Kumasi presented a problem that I found that we cannot handle the problem here. So I advise that he should get back to you or to me after this meeting.
Okay.
Yes, the problem looks very personal. and it will take us time to go through it. So it's
Okay.
better we handle his problem after the meeting.
All right. All right.
Mhm.
No problem.
Yeah, and this let me say it. I'm sure some people may have that problem. There are some
Okay.
people. There are some people at the beginning who had dishonest inviters that they invited them, they gave them the coordinates, that is the username and the password, but they probably did not give them all the information, like the password for the email and all. They did not give that. So those are those dishonest inviters. And we have already heard our our CEO has said it over and over. If you have any such dishonest uh, uh, inviters, we'll talk to them in the background. If they can't budge, then we use the leaders to reach to get this question answered. And there are people who have problems migrating. People who migrated instead as affiliates. Yes, because see, in the early when we were migrating, some people just went and then clicked on rather the company pool, and then they migrated as users, and they went to the company. So they had now this button of delete, the delete button under your profile. So if you have that and you have the email and the password, it's easy for us to handle it. But if you don't, then we'll see how we can circumvent it. And if we can't now succeed, then it can go to leadership. So I think I wanted, just because that is in line with what Mayor Komasi brought out. So if you have such problems, please don't keep them to yourself. Our CEO says that all of us, everybody who is a founder, all of us are going to succeed. Nobody is going to be left behind. So don't have a problem and stay behind and say it has not been solved. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And we remind everybody that if you have such a problem, please don't pay for that account. Just leave it like that way, because
Yep.
payment might also bring in other complications.
Yep. Thank you. Mr. Hillary is still not on. If any other person has any other person who has a worry, you can come up, please.
Mayor's hand is up.
Mayor, you have your hand up again. Can you?
Yes, thank you very much, leaders. I want to once more express my gratitude because I am actually, this is the first time I'm following this presentation without
Right.
hitches. Because as we're talking about our uh, phones or whatever we are using,
Okay.
uh, network sometimes is also the problem. Uh, there is something that is not actually a big problem. It is this question of multiple accounts. When we started, it was a question of building teams when it was Go founders. We started by building teams, and then later on, the question of building teams was scrapped out. And then the accounts that we had, because building the teams was in a way that I will register my account and then I will make more accounts in my name. And so it came to pass that I had so many accounts. But of late, I've been in, even our CEO sometimes says that, what are you doing with so many accounts? So sometimes it makes me to be a bit worried that with my account, numerous accounts, is there going to be any problem? That is what I want to share so that we can let us have some clarification about that.
Yeah, Mayor, to be very frank, there is no problem having many accounts, because in as much as our CEO has been telling us, He doesn't know why many people have accounts. At the same time, he said, well, but there are people who have problems, who have people to help, and they are owning those accounts in order to help those people later on. So there is no such problem. So you don't need to bother. I don't know how many accounts you may not even have as many accounts as many other founders have. So it is not the number of accounts that would disturb. So the number of accounts have no problem place in our setup. Leader John.
Okay. There is another thing which I want to say. I have the accounts of my children, grown up children, that I brought them in. But you see, these children who live over there, they make as if they know it all. So I told them that if you don't want to migrate the account, send the account to me. Let me migrate. But my intention is to hand it over back to them when they see that the apples are falling. So I hope it will be easier for one to transfer the accounts of somebody that he is managing to the person when time comes. Because I know that there will be no selling of accounts, but voluntary transfer, I hope there will be no problem.
Yeah, I think again, Mayor, the answer there is yes, and that is why when we're signing the NDA, there are two boxes that you check. One, that you are the owner of the account, and then secondly, that you are the manager of that account. So what I would advise you is that for those your children accounts, since you are the one managing the accounts now, you have to take them and migrate them yourself, and make sure that your name is on all those accounts. When the accounts start working at a certain time, as you say, when they start seeing apples and they rush back to you, then you give them back to them. By that time, there will be no problem, because all you may be needed at that time is that they have to do the KYC again. So I think you just need to get to support, and support will do that for you. But I think it's okay. It's verified that you have your children's account, even if they are grown up ones, they are still under your name. I have such cases too, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, just Bibi, just a little addition. It's just that May has already done the migration and the other things, because one of the things that makes people feel that managing many accounts is difficult is because of the way the emails were arranged and the passwords are arranged.
Mhm.
If you understand and then you arrange your email, if you had arranged your emails well and your passwords, you will not have any problem.
Mhm.
But
Right.
as we say, when during our discussion, we have other problems when we are discussing. We'll look at how you have arranged it, and we can give you the advice based on what is available, so that you
Thank you very
can
much.
lessen the pressure of the problem. Yes.
Okay.
That will be very good for me.
Okay. Okay. The floor is open. Any question? Any comment?
Mr. Chin
Yeah.
is back. I don't know whether his sound will be on. Mr. Chin, your hand was up. Mr. Hillary Chin, your hand was up. Can you unmute yourself if you still
Yeah.
have a concern?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you all for your presence here. I'm happy to be here. Yes, I just want to ask, there's a concern again from a brother who just subscribed to his O Connect and
Yeah.
is unable to organize meetings.
Okay.
So it shows that he has subscribed, but he is unable to organize meetings like this using the O Connect. So I don't know. Maybe he has to wait again for it to be well activated by the system, or
Yeah.
why is it that he cannot organize meetings? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chin, are you the person who invited the person into the system?
Mm, Not
No.
really.
Okay. Can you organize meetings with can you set up meetings, webinars?
For
No.
now, I
No.
cannot because I
Okay, all
subscribed
right.
today.
Okay, all right, okay, right. This is what you have to check. You open if the person is near you. I'm sure your account is running well because you see everything there. When you open the account or when you sign on, you go to the apps. Of course, we have a number of applications, and below the last application is O Connect. You look at it, whether it's there. If it is there, okay, then you go to the marketplace and find out whether the word subscribed is there, that it is subscribed. If it's subscribed, it means he has purchased it. If it is only subscriber, it means that he has not yet purchased it. That is the first thing that you should do. If he has done that, if it is subscribed, then there should be no reason why he should not be able to set up a webinar. So, and how to set up a webinar, I think we have said this over and over inside our meetings here. To set up a webinar, you just need to sign on. You go to the O Connect app, which is on your inside your OES. You click on it, and then the interface comes up, and on the right there you find Create Webinar. You hit on that Create Webinar, a number of boxes will come up. 4 of them are highlighted. They have asterisks. You fill those 4 boxes. The first one is probably the title that you give to your webinar, like this.
Yes, Bibi, can you briefly share the screen?
Yeah, there's no problem. I can share the screen. Okay. Let me share my screen for that. There's no problem. Okay, this is my screen. This is I'm using a laptop here, but on the phone will be on the phone will be on your right, but on the laptop is on your left here. On the left here, the last this thing on your left on below here. So you click on it as I've clicked. Are you able to see this? Are you able to see this? Mr.
Yeah,
Chin.
I can see it. I can see it. Please, can you see?
Mr. Chin, can you see this?
Yes, I can see it.
All right. If you can see that, that's one of the problems. Sorry, please. I'm very sorry. I cannot create another webinar here because it is on this webinar.
Okay.
Let me go. Let me get out. Let me get out of this. Let me get out of it, and then I'll go to a different account. Why the button is not showing there is because I've already created a webinar, and you cannot create a webinar on the same account. So I will share my account and then go and then open. I will get but a different account now. Okay, I'll go and sign up for a different account. I hope that it's not even allowing me to share, John. Okay, let me see. If it doesn't, then I will have to, because if I close this account now, if I get out of the account, I hope that it does not.
Might knock all of us out of the meeting, right?
Yeah, that's my fear. Because I want to leave the site and then go and open from a different account. It will knock all of us out. That is
will knock all of us out.
That is a difficulty that I've always said, that because I am the host. I'm the one who created the link. So it will be difficult for me to share my screen using our back office, except I'm not going to come out of that back office.
Can you make John a co-host?
Yeah, he's a host too, but then he cannot share his screen. Look, I'm the one who.
I'm even out of the host. I'm using to use a phone and do all those things.
Okay, Mr. Chin, let me just go through again. Very. I'll go through the steps very slowly, right? Okay. I'll go through the steps on how to create a webinar. How do you create a webinar? You go into the
OES.
You go into the OES, And then when you go into OAS, you are going to tap on. Let me stop sharing. I'm sure that's where that is coming from. Okay, when you go to the OAS, you go, if it's on your phone, please. It's still not. You take the O Connect, which is on top, but if it's on your laptop, which we prefer, is going to be on the left. When you click on it, as I click now, the interface will come up, and then the space or the button for creating webinar is on your right, the right of your screen. You click on it, an interface is going to come up with the agenda of your meeting, like what we'll put here, get more engaged. You type there, you type inside that box. Then below it, you can repeat the same thing. Then you go now, you check on the time that you want the webinar to be. If it is the same day, some hours before, the buttons are there, up and down buttons are there for you to choose. And then when you accept that, then you go and choose the duration. The default duration is 1 hour, but you can change it to be anything if you have paid for your O Connect. We know that the O Connect, which we are using now, has a maximum of 10,000 attendees in a room, and you can have as many as 25 speakers. So when you do that now, below you just hit on submit. Then your webinar will be created. Then you see below on your screen, you see the webinar, the webinar name or the title of the webinar. Then the second column is in blue. You click on that box on that second column, which carries the link. When you click on it now, the links pop up, and then you choose the link. We advise that you take the last link, which is below, which carries the speakers and also the attendees. You click on that, and then you can send by WhatsApp or by email to any person that you want. So when you do that now, you are good to go. You can start your webinar at the time, 15 minutes before the time, and then you enter the room, and then you hit on there will be an arrow to start your webinar. When you hit on that arrow, this interface opens, and obviously now you just you have all of these buttons. I'm sure all of these buttons that you find here, you see the buttons. Then you find the buttons below there, and then you can get on with your webinar.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. Well understood.
It's unfortunate that we have shown the various stages, but since I am the person who created the webinar, I cannot get out to create another webinar again now on the same number.
Yeah, BB on Thursday I'll create on Thursday when I create, we'll be able to do this again over by sharing the screen so that anybody who has not gone any part of it can be able to get it clearly.
Yes, you're right. Okay, all right. Okay, now.
Good evening, Mr. Bless. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr.
I'm coming late, but I want to just find out. Did you say anything about payments and so on, subscription and so on?
Yes, the subscriptions are still on hold. The card subscriptions are still on hold, but the crypto payments are on now. The crypto subscriptions you can do your crypto. It's going on very free. For the card payment, please let's just hold on. Let's be patient. The solution is going to be gotten, and all of us will be happy about it. That's what the CEO said. That we should be patient. So nothing yet, please.
Okay. That was the biggest concern.
No, there is nothing. If there is something, you will know within a short time, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
There are some issues. It appears somebody's microphone and camera is open. It's better you check and close. It's not as fluent as it was before.
I myself, I'm getting that myself.
I don't have it.
Okay, let me close, and then you can, each person now, if you want to talk now, Mr. Kumasi, you can unmute yourself now. Unmute yourself. Unmute. Unmute yourself. You cannot unmute? Wow. John, can you unmute yourself? Mr. John, can you unmute?
Okay, I've unmuted. It's okay.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Kumasi, can you unmute? Okay.
Yes, I was just indicating that there was some hitches. That was all. I do not have anything again to say now.
No man no go take listen for school. When you call Chris me a No, now wait, I don't consent to since I say still for clinical. So if you pay me Uber, now go take pikin. I don't call Papa.
Somebody is discussing some other thing. John, where are you?
I'm here. I'm still here only.
Okay. Enjoy yourself. I hope when you return to base, you will send something to me, Kumba.
I waited for you to send something until.
Did I not tell you that I communicated completely with you now?
Mr. Foncha, David Belgium, your camera is open. I think that's where the noise is coming from.
He's probably distracted, huh?
But the noise has stopped. But he is muted. The camera should not make noise now.
The camera should not make noise.
Yes. Okay, the noise has stopped. So I hope it's okay now.
It was like a microphone being misused.
Yeah. So any other concern for us to address?
John, do you have any idea when Ash will have to talk to us?
Well, let's just watch out for
tomorrow.
Just watch out for
the 360 tomorrow.
360 tomorrow.
Yes.
All right.
Let's watch our 360 tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully. Okay.
Now, if the house is silent, are you saying that we've exhausted everything?
Well, that's it. If people are not, they'll call it quits and we'll meet on Thursday.
Okay.
We hope that we'll have something tomorrow from OPS 360.
Okay. So since there are no other questions coming, we just like to thank all those who have come today and exercise the patience, wait until the end of the program, in spite of the hitches and the difficulties we're experiencing in network connections and phone settings and other personal problems. So thank you very much for coming and for keeping the faith.
Good night to you people. Good night.
Okay, I will be sending out. I will send out the recording to those who actually want a recording of the meeting.
Okay. All right.